United States of America, known as Land of the Free, Home of the Brave, has come to symbolize freedom throughout the world. People from all nations and from all walks of life have called the United States home. The United States has welcomed them with open arms. Indeed, the famed Statue of Liberty is the embodiment of this dream. In New York's public education system alone, its student body represents 145 countries. The United States has a deep affinity with Supreme Master Ching Hai. With her boundless love and compassion, Supreme Master Ching Hai has provided humanitarian assistance to many parts of the United States. In 1993, she sent relief teams to provide financial and material assistance to the victims of the 6 Midwestern states that were severely affected by heavy rain and flooding. On December 27, 1997, at the benefit concert A Journey Through Aesthetic Realms, Supreme Master Ching Hai generously contributed $100,000 each to the Vietnam Children's Fund and the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. The following year, at another benefit concert, One World of Peace, through music, she once more contributed generously, with 2 charity organizations being the recipients of her love. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital received $150,000, and the Starlight Children's Foundation received a check for $100,000. Additionally, in the face of one of the worst human tragedies ever to occur on U.S. soil, on September 11, 2001, Supreme Master Ching Hai responded immediately, sending relief teams from around the country and all over the world to Ground Zero in New York City. Supreme Master Ching Hai's financial contributions amounted to over $300,000 to organizations aiding the victims. To this day, Supreme Master Ching Hai continues to extend her loving compassion to all parts of the U.S., from Virginia, Ohio, Kentucky, and Alabama to California, Florida, Texas, Hawaii, and other states. We now invite you to listen to the following lecture by Supreme Master Ching Hai entitled Recognize Your Own God Nature, given on June 2, 1998 in Irvine, California, USA.
Supreme Master Ching Hai's lectures are not a complete meditation instruction. Please do not try alone. For free of charge guidance, please visit www.godsdirectcontact.org or contact any of our centers near you.
Hi everyone. One of Suma Ching Hai's most famous books is entitled I Have Come to Take You Home. For me, that title couldn't be more appropriate. It's not that I came from a troubled life. My parents, 2 established scientists in China, love me very much. So does my only sister. I myself attended some of the most prestigious schools, and I always have a wide circle of friends. Seems like I have a happy life, right? But something was still missing. Deep down, I felt I didn't belong to this world. People call me misconfused. So I embarked on a journey to find truth, happiness, and who I really am. First, I tried science. I pursued a PhD in biology and studied physics, hoping to find the origin of all things through evolution, quantum mechanics, and the Big Bang Theory, whatever. Next, I tried philosophy, psychology, anthropology, history, and literature, you name it. When these attempts failed, I turned to religion and spiritual practice, Christianity, Buddhism, Taoism, transcendental meditation, yoga, even Chinese Qigong. Each practice offered a degree of truth, but not the ultimate knowledge. So I was still wondering, struggling with my identity and the meaning of this human life. Depression took over. I resorted to smoking and even thought of suicide. It would take so much in high to put me on the path toward home. It all started with a phone call back in 1993 in Indiana. An acquaintance who I met only once called me from Chicago. Out of the blue, he mentioned Suma Qinghai. Her name in Chinese means the ocean of tranquility. What a coincidence. 8 years earlier, I dreamed of jumping into an ocean of a pure ocean full of love and serenity. Dazzling blue, but not any shade that you can imagine in this world. The setting was indescribable, but I experienced nirvana. For the first time ever, that dream made me feel at home. But Suma Qinghai is not just a dream. She's a living, breathing being. Still, I remain doubtful. You know how human mind works. The morning after the phone call, upon opening my eyes, I saw the words, "The Living Buddha," hovering above my forehead. They stayed there for the whole day. My doubts were beginning to fade. They will disappear altogether when I met Master Qinghai in that wonderful April of 1993 at Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. By then, I had already asked my newfound friend over phone thousands of questions about this living Buddha and her teachings. When I heard her lecture that day, everything became crystal clear. I asked myself, why did I go through my lifelong search when the answers are so simple, just like that? Everything about Suma Qinghai moved me. Her compassion, her confidence, her simplicity, her wisdom, and her humor. I got initiation the same night, during which I experienced the divine light and the heavenly sound, as described in all the scripts since ancient time. The occasion was so overwhelming, overflowing with bliss and beauty, that I did not even realize until the next day that I had finally come home. My dear friends, I have grown ever more in the past 5 years. Each day increases my appreciation of the Master's teachings. I'm more convinced than ever of her boundless power to bring lost souls back to their eternal home. I hope the story of my lifelong journey shows you that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I'm very honored to be with all of you, because tonight you will reach the end of your journey, and this is a chance in a million lifetime. Thank you.
We would like to continue our program with Q Fan. He'll talk a little bit about the Kuan meditation. Let's welcome him.
A young man in New York City disowned by his parents and resentful towards his Catholic upbringing, finds reconciliation on both fronts through Kuan Yin meditation. Across the Atlantic Ocean, a disillusioned wife gives up on her marriage. In front of the courthouse where she files her divorce papers, she receives a copy of the book, The Key to Immediate Enlightenment. Within its pages, she finds words of love that become the balm of healing for her relationship. And right at home, in Southern California, a Hindu couple discovers Suma Qinghai. In her, they see the concrete embodiment of ancient teachings espoused by all world religions. Dear friends, the truest test of a spiritual path lies in its ability to transform a person for the better. So, has Kuan Yin meditation improved practitioners' everyday lives? Has it maximized their kindness, compassion, and integrity? Has their awakening of the soul translated into daily conduct? In other words, how practical is enlightenment? Being a newspaper journalist, I decided to take my questions to 3 Kuan Yin followers. From their brief testimonies, you'll see that enlightenment blossoms inside and out. Metamorphosis number 1, healing the wounds. Peter Stansky thought he knew everything about himself. He thought his parents were evil. After all, didn't they disown him at the tender age of 22? Peter Stansky was so sure of life, or so he thought. In the summer of 1996, he entered college. A classmate lent him a videotape of a lecture by Suma Qinghai. One thing led to another, culminating in initiation 5 months later. Suddenly, the world wasn't so black and white anymore. Peter finally admitted that he was the cause of his own problems. His repeated refusal to seek narcotics rehabilitation led his parents to disown him. Peter, the 20th century prodigal son, returned home February 8, 1997. He had finished a 60-day rehabilitation clinic. His parents, having witnessed the healing power of Kuan Yin meditation, are now practicing the convenient method. One other note. These days, Peter has resumed attendance at weekly Mass. The 26-year-old completed a catechism course. He also read the entire Bible. How did Peter, who was so sure that he didn't need God, come to embrace spirituality again? He says, Suma Qinghai puts a genuine face on religion. She spurs me to think critically, reform myself, and examine my faults first before blaming others. In order to heal the world, I had to heal myself first. Metamorphosis number 2, a book of love. Some things don't happen by mere chance, says Simone Mouchard. Her statement dates back to 1994 when she received a copy of The Key to Immediate Enlightenment. Simone, a resident of Bordeaux, France, met a Kuan Yin adherent on the steps of a courthouse. She had just filed her divorce papers. The 32-year-old and her Algerian husband, Mustafa, had called it quits after 7 years of matrimony. The love definitely existed, she says, but it was covered by layers of misunderstanding. We weren't honest with ourselves, much less with other people. Simone doesn't remember why she accepted the Enlightenment booklet, but she read it 4 times. She sent away for more books and tapes, she became a vegetarian, and the culmination, she got initiated in early 1996. Kuan Yin meditation has been the biggest blessing in my life, she says during a phone interview. It puts me in touch with my feelings. It infuses me with patience and serenity. Communication is no longer a problem. The end result is that Mustafa and Simone remain husband and wife. The spouses renewed their marriage vows last spring, their 10th anniversary. Differences still arise, but they're now aired immediately and in a civil manner. Simone and Mustafa are studying to become marriage counselors. They hope to open the lines of loving communication for others, just as Suma Qinghai did for them. Metamorphosis number 3, modern woman, timeless message. The Bible says humans are created in the image of God. Siddhartha Gautama observed that everyone possesses Buddha nature. Hinduism describes every person's soul, or the Atman, as divinely connected to the universal Brahman. The Quran, Islam's holiest book, declares humanity to be brothers and sisters equal in their pilgrimage back to eternal paradise. Whether Eastern philosophy or Western theology, all religions try to awaken people to their glorious inner nature. Dadyalal and Lilal Patel understand this singular message well. For more than 50 years in India, they lived among a smorgasbord of religions. The Patels reminisce this way. Everybody got along since our religions espoused a shared edict of love, reverence for all forms of life, peace, honesty, humility, and generosity. Then the Patels moved to San Bernardino in 1990. The new area of spiritual fragmentation disappointed them. They yearned for a voice of unity, an enlightened beacon that would shed light on religious commonality. Suma Qinghai answered their prayers. Here's a woman whose teachings synthesized diverse spiritual traditions seamlessly. The Patels especially liked her humorous, concise, and down-to-earth approach to enlightenment. Leela says, Master is refreshingly human. She's not afraid to laugh or cry. It's great to have a female teacher, by the way. This reminds us that God transcends gender, race, age, or any other man-made category. But above all, the Patels thank Kuan Yin meditation for elevating their reverence toward everyday aspects of living. They're now able to discern the sacred among the ordinary. Enlightenment isn't confined to churches, temples, synagogues, mosques, or gurdwaras. The dialogue concludes, God lives within you and within everything else. My dear friends, the preceding testimonials constitute only the crust of what Suma Qinghai has given us through the gift of Kuan Yin meditation. The gift is a balance of inner tranquility and outer virtue. It is a dynamic duo of faith complemented by good conduct. Master has humbly observed that, as an enlightened teacher, her role is to guide others. We thank all of you for coming tonight. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Suma Qinghai.
I thank you for coming. Now we have to begin somewhere. And our life begins a long time ago, or perhaps it has just begun. And we have forgotten where we have truly come from. And that's the only question that we could not answer. For most of us, for many of us. Everything else we are clever enough to know. We can learn through books. We can experiment in the laboratory. We can use chemical substance or scientific knowledge to solve, to give an answer. But the only answer that's most puzzling is, where have we come from? And it's another equally puzzling is, where will we go after this? Obviously, to many of us, life doesn't end in the coffin. We do know that, but we just could not prove. To many of the wise saints since the ancient times, this question is very simple. They do know where they came from, and they do know where they will go. And for them, the question of death doesn't have any appeal or any frightening effect. Because like the saints in the Bible said, I die daily. What does it mean by dying daily? When we withdraw ourselves inward to enter the kingdom of God, that's when we die. We die temporarily. And then we come back to life again. So resurrection can happen anytime during our ordinary life. If we follow the process of Jesus, of the ancient saints. And since we die once, or we die daily, we do know there are other life, there are other world, except this physical one. And then we are free to roam around in the universe. We explore the mystery of the cosmos. And then we know that dying is no big deal. And in fact, we know we don't ever die. And then we also know we don't even have a physical body. So strange as it may seem, it is the fact. And that's why when Jesus was nailed on the cross, he was not afraid. He was not crying. He wasn't begging for his life. He wasn't running away. He could have done, but he didn't want to. He didn't have to. He surrendered everything to God's will because he knew where he's going. He knew all the time. He knew that there is no such thing as death or suffering. True suffering is when we do not know where we came from and where we will go. Because Jesus knew already, so he gave up the quest for physical comfort. He gave up the fear of death, and he goes because he knows he's always there anyhow, and that only the physical body decay in the mortal eyes, but in Jesus' wisdom there's no such thing even as a physical body. This is very difficult to prove unless we follow the same path as the great master has gone through. Like Buddha, Jesus, they have gone the same path, therefore they have preached the same thing. Even though we label it Buddhism, Christianity, and we make so many terminologies, separate the truth into two different categories and they're confusing us. But actually, the masters always teach the same thing. Basically the same thing. That is, if we cut off the ribbons and the wrap papers and the different way of the master individual talent, eloquence of speech, then it is the same. And especially after we have become enlightened, or we have followed the same path, and we practice the same thing, then we know it is exactly the same, because they both go the same way. Suppose all of us came here to this auditorium and sit here for a while, and afterward we came out. Then we all describe the same room. There's no difference. What is it about enlightenment that so many people make a great mystery about and praise so much and encourage us so much to go forward to claim it again? It is not enlightenment at all. It is just the truth. It is just the way it should be. It is just the way we should be. It's the way it is. And if we don't know enlightenment, then we continue suffering so much until we realize that everything else is not important except to know God. And when we begin to want to know God, then God will send someone, a friend, a guide, an experienced brother to show us what to do. And after we know what to do, that's when we are enlightened. We might not be enlightened as greatly as Buddha or Jesus, but we are enlightened somewhat. And then day by day, we continue with the process, and then we become just as great. And then we will understand what Jesus said to us, like, whatever I do, you can do better, or you can do as good. And I and my Father are one. And we will understand that we are all children of God. And we will understand that we are the temple of God. And only the Holy Spirit lives within us. And if God lives within us, then what are we? We are God. Well, if this is only the house and God lives inside, then who else is there? Could it be that I and God live in same house? Huh? It doesn't say I and God live in there. It says I and my Father are one. If I and my Father are one, how come we don't know Him? If the Holy Spirit dwells within this temple and this fleshly body, only the temple, and there's only one person who dwells within is God, then who is there inside? Only one person, only God. And that's when we begin to ask ourselves how to reclaim our glory again. And that's when enlightenment begins inching toward us. Or we are crawling toward enlightenment, or maybe we're running, or maybe we're flying, it depends. Some people are flying, some people are walking, some people are going by maybe train. And that's why at the time of so-called initiation, some people have greater enlightenment, some people have lesser great enlightenment. It's because sometimes we choose to go faster, we choose to go slower. How did we choose that? We have chosen that before we were born. We have chosen that before the creation began, to play our part in this physical world or in any part of the cosmos. We spread all over. We were one and then we become many as God wished to be. And we partake in the grand design of the creation to play colorful drama of life. And then now when the time comes, our role is finished, not necessary, or we are tired. We want to retire, we want to go back home. Other people or other souls will continue our role. We take over and then we begin to go home. And that's when enlightenment occurred. It is so simple. We are God. We have chosen to be ignorant in order to play this drama of life, in order for the creation to be colorful and lively, to be different, to be in varieties, to have fun. Also in order to know what we truly are. Because in heaven there's only God, nothing else. And we don't know God because we are God. So we have to be ungodlike. So we have chosen to come here to be different from God, so that we can have look and compare and know that we are God. So enlightenment is the purpose of everyone who comes into this physical universe, because we want to know God. So we have chosen to play this ignorant part, so that we truly can recognize God ourselves. Just like if in the world there's only men, then we do not know the difference between man and woman. We will not know that we are men unless there's a woman. Unless there is the night, we do not recognize daytime. If we always live in the sunlight, we do not know what darkness is. That is the answer that I have found out myself. But to find out the real meaning of it, to realize the real meaning, each one of us have to search the way to find it for him or herself. It's not by hearing, by listening, by saying that we know we are God, even though we believe the Bible, but at the moment we still don't know we are God. Or do we? Do you know? You know you're God? Yeah? Well, some of you do, I guess, because you are enlightened. Some of you have studied with other masters or teachers, and then, of course, you realize to some degree that you are not just a body, and you are not the body at all. Sometimes during the samadhi, you find your body don't exist. You know you exist, but not the body. You don't find any body, you don't find any trace of the physical substance that we call flesh or bones or body or hair, whatever. It's all light. It's all God. And that's when we truly realize that we are God, that only God dwells within this temple. And after all, the temple disappears too. And only this realization will make us happy and truly happy. Otherwise, no matter how much Bible we read, how much other teacher tell us that we are God, we can never believe it. We can never know that we truly are the children of God, or that the kingdom of God is within you. We read the Bible every day. We know the Bible by heart. We might be able to recite from the first page to the last sentence, but we still do not know God. So we pray every day to God, to the God that we don't even know, to answer our question, to fulfill our request, to answer our desires. And all the while, we are that. We are that to whom we pray to. And then sometimes we get angry with God because we think God don't answer us. God doesn't fulfill our request. But only when we know we are God, then we don't blame no more. We don't even need to pray anymore. Whatever we think, we will have. Whatever we want, we will get. But we will not want no more. At that time we can say, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Because we're so fulfilled. Doesn't matter if we drive a Mercedes or we drive a bicycle or we walk. We're so happy, we're so fulfilled, we're so rich inside that nothing can make us unhappy at all. Even if we are a king or we are a beggar, we are happy, equally happy in any situation, because we truly know happiness. At that time, happiness are us. And that's what enlightenment will bring. And that's not a theory that we should listen. It's the experience, it's the knowledge, it's the realization that we must get. Otherwise, we cannot understand many things that we want to understand. Otherwise, we will continue to misunderstand each other also and suffer a lot, whether in personal relationship or in business dealing or in the loving connection with God. We will not have the true understanding and the love that's so great that we could forgive our enemies. Because at that time we will realize there's no enemy. We read a lot of the Bible, like you have to forgive your enemy, love thy neighbor, but we will never understand why. Until we truly realize what we are or who we are, then at that time there's no need to explain. Love just flows from us. Light just surrounded us. We become that. We become love, we become light. We become what we always want to be. We become what we always been praying to. We become God-like. That's why Master like Jesus we worship, because he's so God-like. So why Buddha, everybody adores him, because he's so God-like. He's everything that we imagine a God to be. But that we can become also, because Jesus have told us, and we have to believe him. He has no reason to tell us lie. He didn't take money from anybody. He didn't build church or houses at that time even. He walked. He has no possession. He has no reason to tell lie to any soul in this planet. He told us, whatever I can do, you can do also. You are all children of God, he said that. We have to believe in him. And now the only one thing for us to do is to realize what he said, to prove it to ourselves. Because he already promised that. We have to find out how to realize this promise. And this is what enlightenment is all about. Very simple. Enlightenment is in us already. The kingdom of God is in us. The kingdom of God is at hand. At hand means we could always get it. It's not far. Only if we know how. The master of old have passed away, but their teaching, their lineage of enlightenment has always, somewhere, somehow, somewhat survived. It's not necessarily survived in Jerusalem. It's not necessarily survived in Bodh Gaya in India. It goes deep into the ground like the river. It goes all over. It branches out. It's hidden away somewhere and then it springs up somewhere else. Surprised. So we have to find where that river has sprung up right now and get the source of the water of life. And lucky for those who know where the river has emerged after being hidden under the ground or running through different corners of the planet. The river or the source of water come from the mountain. Sometimes they don't just suddenly disappear. They just run deep into the earth somewhere and then emerge somewhere else. Similar with the teaching of the master of the old time. It doesn't disappear. Whenever we are ready, we will find that river again. Some friend of us, some acquaintance, sometimes by very funny change, very strange coincidence, we will find that river of the teaching again. Sometimes it could be very easy in the supermarket. Sometimes it was difficult. We have to go to the Himalaya. Sometimes we just encounter it in the library or in the candy shop. Who knows? The way of working of God is very, very mysterious, but it's always for our benefit. It's not necessary that all of us have to go to the Himalaya or somewhere very, very far away to find enlightenment. God's arranged differently for each one of us, according to our desire, according to our sincerity, according to the destiny of us that is written in the book of the universe, that we might meet the chance for enlightenment here, or we may meet a chance of enlightenment somewhere else. As our brother has mentioned, I'm also lucky to have encountered the newly sprung up river, and I have also drunk the water of life, and which it tastes good. I know it tastes good because I have tasted it. So I come back and tell you. And I can also show you where to get the water and taste it for yourself. It just happened that I found it first before you. It could have been you that sit here and tell me, yes, but as God will it, He pick up a small woman, easy to transport. Because small thing, go a long way. That's why. Yeah, very easy for me to sneak everywhere, find the river for you. So do not ask why me. I also don't know. Just somebody has to discover something, somehow, somewhere, sometimes. Yeah? It is not necessary that everybody discover one thing at the same time. Like Einstein, yeah, he has his theory, and he's the one and only. Newton, for example, yeah, one person enough, and then he can share his knowledge with the whole world, and the whole world will be benefit. So it's not necessary that we have two Einstein or two Newton, and maybe too much if we have two suns, too hot. California is truly hot in summer. Suppose if we have two suns, maybe two superfluous, overflowing. So one sun also enough. So, well, here I am. I came from far away, bring you this news. And if you like to accept, if you like to find out about it, we are very willing to share it with you. No cost, no charge, no string attached. No before, after, in between. And that's what it is, simple. I have a feeling that you all understand, that you all know, because you are God. I'm sitting here looking at the gods. And that's why I feel so happy. I don't need to speak, but in case you have any question, I may have the chance to elaborate more for the sake of everyone else, so feel welcome to ask. Or maybe share with me your knowledge also, it's fine.
To get it started, I do have already one question, and it's an honor to have an enlightened master that we can ask questions to and get real answers. She is somebody that knows the truth, and I, a graduate of UC Irvine, am very honored to have such an enlightened master on our public campus. The first question, Master, could you please explain the origins of the Kuan Yin method of meditation and how to practice it?
Yes, as I have mentioned earlier, it comes from God. It comes from time immemorial, since the creation began. Since we began to play the drama of life, God has granted us this way to go back to Him. And that's where it begins. And as to how to practice, I will explain to you if you're interested in greater detail later on, if you stay behind. Yes, because it needs to be explained more in detail, so you will not confuse at home if I am gone away. You have to know it one time and forever. Then you never forget again. You can do it all yourself at home, whether the teacher dead, alive, there or here, or never see again. So you have to learn carefully. It don't take long. Maybe a couple of hours to explain everything, but that's for life, see? So here We do not have so much time. I just briefly tell you that the Kuan Yin method is not a method really. It is the inherent power. That is the power of God to prove that we are God, because we have that God power. So at the time of initiation, the Master just have you to remember it. And remember you will, and immediately. And then you will feel it. You feel the power. Sometimes it shakes you. But then later on you calm down because you know you are God. In the beginning it might be exciting, but later on it's okay. So what? Everybody's God, no big deal.
Why is it necessary to erase past karma?
It's not necessary if we want to continue living in here, but if we want to go back to where we belong, then we have to pay all the debt. Either by suffering or by enlightening medicine. Once we are enlightened, the past karma is erased, but the present karma continue. The future karma non-existence. And that's how we can be free to go back to the kingdom of God. Because what keeps us here is the storage of past karmas. What does it mean by karma? It's a Sanskrit term for cause and effect. What we call, as you sow, so shall you reap in the Bible. We have been sowing a lot of bad and good deeds since thousands of millenniums, since the time began. And that's how we continue to exist here, because we keep paying and borrowing and paying, repaying, that's all the time. And come back and back, to repay the past debt. So in order to be clear of this and to be free of bondage, we have to erase the past karma. And the only thing we can do to erase the past bad karma once and for all is enlightenment. Once we are enlightened, the past gone. Just like you switch on the light, doesn't matter how many thousand years of darkness have resided in this room, one instant is gone. There's no other way we can erase the past bad karma, because it's too much. Yes, that's why enlightenment very necessary.
Dear Master, I love you very much. I would like to ask you about animal research. What do you think about it? Do you think animal research is unethical?
Which means for medical experiment, tried on animal first, right? Or to research, like to know what the species and then try to help them? Medical purpose or cosmetic, right? Well, what you want me to say? You want me to offend the whole medical system? Some say it's necessary to have done research on animal in order to help mankind. Well, if the intention is pure, we have no right to judge anyone. But from the animal standpoint, it is a very, very unkind thing, uncompassionate thing to do. I wish we don't have to do that. I wish we all get enlightenment and cure ourselves inside out. Thank you.
Okay. Do I have a soul? If not, how is reincarnation possible?
Well, the Bible says you have a soul, so you must have one. Reincarnation is not the soul who reincarnates, actually. The soul lives forever. Don't die, don't live, don't reincarnate. It is the experience of life. It's the integrating process between the physical and the spiritual. When we are trying to experiment in the so-called life here, that attached to the knowledge of our existence, that things reincarnate. And if we do not detach ourselves from this kind of experiment, then we call ourselves, we reincarnate. Actually, we don't reincarnate. We don't die ever. Yes, we are just sick. We're just diseased with these incidents, with these disaster that happen to be attached to us. And if we don't cut ourselves asunder from that, then of course we forever connected with that. And the cause and effect keep changing, keep moving, keep adding, keep diminishing, and that's how we say we reincarnate. If we are not enlightened enough, that's it.
Master, when one wants to express in the work situation but finds that opportunities get oppressed, what should be the attitude at work? And what should one do? Is ambition in workplace wrong? I would appreciate your shedding the light on this matter.
Now we go back to real life, working. Ambition at work is not wrong. Ambition is a must at work. Otherwise, how you work, how you progress, how you please your boss and yourself, how you make profit for your company. That's a duty. It's a duty to be ambitious. But to be ambitious doesn't mean we have to step on other people's head to go forward. And that's what it is. Ambitious and viciousness, jealousy is different. Yeah, we can be ambitious, we can improve ourselves all the time without having to suppress other people. If we do feel oppressed by some degree, then we have to find out what the reason the other person oppress us, whether we are not competent enough or whether it's a personality problem or it is the other person who is too envious of us. If we can, then talk to that person. If we know we are in the right and that person on the wrong, and talk to that person. If he or she become better, forgive her or him. If she doesn't become better, forgive them anyhow. Continue with your work. We can't avoid conflict in this life, and that's the fact. Even within a personal relationship, sometimes husband and wife also envy each other if one is too successful. That's the problem with the human brain. It's not with the soul though. Not with the enlightened people. No.
Thank you. Why does one need to meditate 2.5 hours each day?
Just like you have to eat now and again. Yeah, there's a portion. There's more or less a portion of food you eat every day to sustain your body. So there's a portion of spiritual nourishment that you should take every day in order to become strong again in God-like quality. Okay? You don't have to, but this is prescribed. Doctor is prescribed fixed amount. Yeah, it's more or less. It's not so strict. Yeah. Besides, we can meditate in sleep as well. We can meditate on the bus, can meditate on the airplane, meditate in the toilet, excuse me. Yes, we'll do so. Well, we can do many jobs at the same time. There's always time to meditate. Yes. Cut down some of the, unfavorite TV program. Read only essential things in the newspaper. Talk less on the telephone. Then you have a lot of time. Yes. Stay in bed a little bit less, Sometimes we don't sleep. We stay in bed late in the morning. Just turn around. Yeah. So that's the time we can meditate. Yeah, very wonderfully. Instead of toss and turn, you just meditate, concentrate. That's it. Very simple. Instead of thinking all kind of nonsensical things, you just concentrate. That's where your meditation is. You don't have to sit down cross-legged like the Buddha. You just lay there and concentrate. And I show you how. to utilize your unproductive time, or some other time that you scatter your mind all over and you don't do anything. Those times we can gather together and remember God. Very easy.
Do you believe there will be world peace one day?
Do you? Maybe in the years 3000. No. There won't be world peace at all. Ever. Because otherwise it won't be called the world again. It's called heaven.
Dear Master, thank you for being here. Where does intuition come from? How do we know which decision to make? Sometimes I get so confused. I have two options, and sometimes it's so hard to decide because each choice comprises and makes up my life, and I don't really know which one I should do. I want to get to the place that I know exactly which decision I should take.
Oh, well, that takes some time. Yes. That's why we must be enlightened. That's why we have to get back the power of wisdom that we have forgotten. We let too many mundane troubles cloud our vision. That's why we are indecisive. We cannot make decision because we do not know. We're not clear. That's why we have to be clear. The 2.5 hours that we reserved every day is to clear our mind, to get back to the origin, to the God-like, and then we will know what to do better. It will be clear. It will be very clear. Meanwhile, if you don't meditate that much, if you don't want to meditate, and if you have intuition, that is God. That is the remnant of whatever left over of so-called God-like wisdom. It's sometimes clouded by worldly worries and survival effort, but then sometimes it's clear, and that's what we call intuition. Okay, meanwhile, if you're not so clear, then just have to take risk. You have to feel which one is more appropriate to you, how much percentage of that decision or that decision. Which one is more percentage? Which one you feel more appropriate? Then just do it. You have to risk. There's no one else to tell us what to do. Pray to God and just pick one. Yes. Or else you make like 2 pieces of paper. Yeah. Like one left, one right, and then pick one. Well, either way is all risky. So you have to get your own wisdom, your own master power.
Dear Master, if I sincerely pray to you, will I be liberated eternally?
I think so, but only one person. Whereas if you get enlightenment yourself, you can take other people with you too. Like one person enlightened, many generations of your relatives and friends, even your dogs and cats, will be liberated too. Whereas if you pray to, even if a God person, you get your own one ticket. Yes, if you're really sincere, and you don't even know if you're sincere or not. Sometimes hard to tell.
Does hell exist as the Bible says?
What do you think? Does it exist? Look at our world and you know the answer. There's no need to look elsewhere.
Master, why did we fall? Why couldn't we have remained pure consciousness for those who may have never wanted to be incarnated in the first place? Today I understand karma, but karma, these debts and credits, were part of the Creator's plan. Why did He desire our suffering karma so much?
He doesn't. We do. As a part of the deal, so that we learn to know the difference between God and ungod. So we can recognize the light when we come back to the light again. Go into the darkness purposely, deliberately, so that we might know the light as its full splendor and full meaning. For those who do not want ever to leave heaven, they did not come here. There are some who never left heaven, that's for sure. Some master never left heaven. Some left heaven to come here to teach us. Some also reincarnate many times and became a master. Some never left to Father's house. We had our choice. We did want it to. There are many answers to this. Well, but summarily, there are two main purposes that we have karmas. See, number one, because we want to know God. We came here purposely just to know God. Sometimes we live in heaven, all full of light. Everybody is saint, everybody is God. So we say, God, what is God? So God say to you, you are God. God is you. God's that. He said, well, I don't know what is God. What is God? He said, you are like this, it's God. But the soul does not fully understand. So the soul asks God, how can I know God? How can I know myself as God? And God tell him, then you have to become different from God, from yourself first. And then you look back, you know. That's why we came here. That's why the purpose of us to come here is that to know ourselves better. Yeah? And the other one is, since the creation has not begun, nothing appear in this world or any other world. And then God made a plan. He wants the creation to spring forth, to come into being. So He made a plan. And we join. We're happy to play every part of the grand design, just for fun, just to make life more colorful. So some knowingly play their part, okay? Yeah. All on the purpose, also that one day they become God again, they know God again. In order to know God, they have to play many different roles, and one role related to another, just like in the movies. You have main character and you have all the supporting actors and all that. Otherwise it doesn't work. Yeah? So the bad karma for us right now, it feels very heavy and very unreasonable. But at that time, for us, it's no big deal, because we are God. We don't see suffering. We don't know problem. We don't look at obstruction as anything undesirable. For us, everything is just a play. Until we really play. Then we feel suffering. But that's a part of the game, part of the universe. Power. If we don't play our role, we don't exist, nothing here. I don't sit here, you don't sit there, you're not blonde, I'm not black. What is then? Everything is all just playing. So it's okay. That's why the perfect master, they say everything is perfect under the sun. And Jesus say, you're all the children of God. Because they realize there's nothing to do. Everyone is perfect, but we do not realize it yet, so we suffer. So we have to realize the same as they do, and then we know why. And then we look at suffering as not suffering. It's still suffering, it still hurt when somebody pinch you. But you understand, it's just for something. You don't suffer, you don't sink into the suffering, just float on top of it. Yes.
Dear Master, my wife is here today for initiation. She has been vegetarian for a long time. I tried but could not. Please tell me why and how to.
Oh, maybe your wife should go and learn vegetarian cooking more. The poor husband cannot just eat when it's not tasty. Well, enlightenment begins here too, not just here. When I first met my ex-husband, I was a vegetarian, he was not. And he was a doctor, and he's very, very practical, very down to earth. He's a Taurus kind. And he belongs to the bow in the zodiac of the Orient, so he's a double bows. So he don't believe any nonsensical things. But because I cook very nicely, well, he eat every day with me. And he has nothing against vegetarian at all. And after I have left him for, to save the world kind of idea, you know that. He gathered all my recipes and cooked for his friends and all that. And he always advertised, oh, my wife used to cook this, my wife used to do that. All the vegetable, very rich in vitamins. And he cooked exactly like the recipe I left behind. And so even a Westerner, a German, and a scientific-minded doctor like that could be a vegetarian. You could be too. If all the wives cook very tasty meal, you don't miss anything. For example, you eat a bowl of soup, like Chinese soup, huh? You have noodle and some piece of meat on it. And instead of those meat, you can have like gluten meat, yeah, or tofu meat, or now and ham meat, everything, all kind of, even fish and everything they can make exactly like the non-vegetarian. So it's a matter of skill. And the way to enlightenment go through the stomach, I believe. So you wives, please take care of your crafty finger, huh? Make it nice, tasty, and then your husband can be able to eat with you. Women are easier, truly. Once you believe something, you just eat anything. But men, they are more scientific. They're more practical. Yeah, not too sentimental like women. The woman can live by sentiment, affection, emotion. So she eats, and then she believes, and then she don't care how it tastes. But men, they are more critical. So please their taste first, and then enlightenment come.
Some of the benefits of a vegetarian diet: lowers blood pressure, lowers cholesterol levels, reduces type 2 diabetes, prevents stroke conditions, reverses atherosclerosis, reduces heart disease risk 50%, reduces heart surgery risk 80%, prevents many forms of cancer. Stronger immune system, increases life expectancy up to 15 years. Higher IQ, saves 70% of a total cost of $40 trillion for reducing global warming, uses 4.5 times less land to grow food, conserves up to 70% clean water, saves 80% of the cleared Amazonian rainforest from animal grazing. A solution for world hunger. Free up 3.4 billion hectares of land. Free up 760 million tons of grain every year, or half the world's grain supply. Consumes 1/3 fossil fuels of those used for meat production. Reduces pollution from untreated animal waste. Maintains cleaner air. Saves 4.5 tons of emissions per U.S. household per year. Stop 80% of global warming. Plus more. Save your life. Be veg. Go green.
Maestra Chinhai, someone who must be bilingual, please explain our relationship spiritually to you after you die and one has been initiated. Is our fight back home still guaranteed by your soul spirit?
Guarantee. As has been said earlier, we are not the body, we are the spirit. So this body go or come, there's no difference, no distance between us. And I have told you already, at the time of initiation, you've been explained so that you can use it for life. There's nothing can come in between anymore, unless you don't want it and you live it. But the seed is still there for next life. Okay.
Master, 5 of my children are already initiated into the Kuan Yin method, but I am quite old. Is enlightenment for everyone? What requirements are needed, or is sincerity the sole criteria?
And sincerity, yes. Sincerity is enough. But sometimes when people are too old, like past a certain age, and sometimes the physical body and the memories is not so sharp anymore, then we might tell them, come back again, next time, next life. Yes. Or just practice like convenient method also can help her or him. No need full initiation, but that's guarantee only for one person, and initiation guarantee for many generations. That's the difference. And you can, by initiation and practice yourself, you can also become enlightened master and can help many souls too.
Master, why does Christianity as a whole tend not to believe in reincarnation? Does the Bible talk about reincarnation?
It does, but it's been censored. Besides, when somebody asks Jesus whether he was Elias, whether he was so-and-so, the past master before him, that means whether he is the reincarnation of those past master, he kept quiet. So that was a part of the Bible that people forgot to censor. Suppose if reincarnation is not existing, for such understanding, then Jesus would say, no, there is no such thing as, a master come back. I am me alone one time, never again, never before, never after. He kept quiet. And in those times, quiet means okay, means agreement, means acceptance. Otherwise Jesus would have explained, right? Not to mislead his disciple. He kept quiet.
Dear Master, explain that if one person gets initiated, 5 of their generations will be saved. How about living family members who eat meat and drink alcohol? Will they also be saved?
They will also be saved. Sadly, but fortunately. That is, if they deliberately do not want liberation, then the Master will not force upon them. Of course, each one is God. You must remember. Each one of us is God. No one can tell God what to do. Even another God. How bad he is, how good he is, that's his own decision, his own path in life to choose. He chose to play this role. He's okay, even if he's bad. That's why the Bible says to us, judge not.
Before we become a Buddha, we vow to do this and do that for human beings, and we vow to serve them. But say after we've become a Buddha, we change our mind for some reason because now we have a different outlook. Question: are we free not to fulfill our vow, or must we fulfill our vows due to the law of karma?
We're free. We're free to do what we want.
Greetings, Suma Chinhai. Please give your view of Earth as a great sentient being whose love assists us in our ascension.
What for should I give my view on that? Huh? Everything is made from God, as the Bible says so. Everything springs from the Word, mean the vibration of the universe. And that vibration is God. And that's the Kuan method. That's what we teach you to tune into the vibration of the universe, of the source of all creation. Okay. So even if we are human, are from God, then also great earth or everything in the universe, it also has God-like quality, but in probably different form and more different density, alright? So in that case, the earth is also a being, a great being, as you have mentioned. And we live in here, we live from the earth. So of course we have to respect that, respect this great mother.
Do we pay karma in our dreams? How do we pay karma?
We pay bad karma in our dream only if that is the grace of God. Otherwise, most of the time we have to pay it physically, like an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. And when you are initiated or you enlighten, then we live by grace of God. We don't live so much by the law of karma anymore, except for some already fixed bad karma, like we have to have some certain bad karma in order to exist in this life. And that bad karma we have to continue with it. But then it can be erased to certain extent, it can be lubricated, it can be lessened to a lot of degree, or it can be paid in dream, only at that time.
Master, what happens if a person gets initiated but ends up not being able to meditate the required 2.5 hours?
Then he probably stay in the class for a while. Just like you students, huh? What happens if you enroll in a certain class and you don't study well? Then you stay there. Or you have, instead of an A, you have a C. Huh? Well, that's what it is. But you're still, nevertheless, a college student. You're not primary school. Or you're not, kindergarten kids. Anyhow, at least you are a college student, that's no doubt. But just lesser degree, huh? Okay.
I would like to know more about the person you received Kuan Yin from. Is he a reincarnation of Jesus, or are you? Does he or she have a name you can share with us?
Yes, I have told you in one of the tapes. Long time ago. His name is Kurachi. He's gone back to God. Jesus never reincarnate, nor of any of the other masters. Reincarnation is only for us, the mortals, the karma-laden people. So you can say Jesus has reincarnated, or you can say Jesus not. It's not Jesus, he reincarnated, it's the Christ power. Yes, let's keep coming, descend into different person through God's will to help mankind. Okay? So you can say yes or you can say no. Agree? Capish?
How does your teachings relate to religion in general? Does your teachings enhance our belief in our own religion?
Yes, it does, it does. You know already. Up to now, you know. I make you understand your religion better, deeper. And if you enlighten yourself, you become the religion. You become the truth. You could write another Bible. But don't have to. One Bible enough. You just verify it, you just understand it, that's good already.
Can you tell us about our dreams?
Nightmares? Dreams have many kinds. Sometimes bad dreams, sometimes good dream. Sometimes dreams that come true, sometimes dreams are just fragments of the daily collection of different information. Yeah, so it's all mixed salads. Sometimes dreams are kind of foretell the future or revealing the past or some of your deepest desire or some of your wish. That is a clairvoyant dream. That's a kind of vision. Many of the Kuan Yin practitioners or the people who meditate, they have this kind of latest dream, like a vision. The dream, but it's very vivid in all color, all light and splendor and very bright, and it's not a dream anymore. It's a vision. Like they go to heaven and all that. When you meditate and you go to heaven, it's almost like a dream. Except you wake up so excited, so electrified, so energized, so full of life and love that you don't know what to do with yourself. You want to hug everyone and kiss them. but don't do that. People will think you're local. Cuckoo.
How do I disconnect from past life experience once and for all?
Past life experience? I told you. Initiation. At the time of initiation, the stored karma, the master erased. So you don't have past karma anymore, but you're welcome to pick up if you want to. If you want to come back to this life, you're welcome.
Can you please clarify what you mean when you say we are children of God and that we're all God? Do you mean to say that worshiping God isn't necessary since we already are?
No, it is necessary. We worship God even more so after we realize who God is, what the loving being that is, and how near to us, nearer than the dearest friend in the whole world, nearer than our own skin. At that time you really worship God in the truest sense of worship. At the moment we're just dictating to God. Oh, please give me money, please give me a wife, please give me a job, please, 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 please. We're just dictating every day. We don't really know God. So, we are God, but yet we are not yet God. So please get to know God first, and then ask me the question later. After you know Him, you tell me.
How does humanly love play a role in our enlightenment?
Well, it's nice to be loved, whether by human or by animals. Every time we are loved, doesn't matter by whom, by what, that's God who loves us. There's no human love, there's no motherly love, there's no brotherly love. Actually, it's all God's love. Divided, minimized, or modified. Yeah? In the Bhagavad Gita of India, the very old Bible, 5,000 years old, God said to Arjuna that it is His love through the mother and father and all that. So everyone who loves us, that's God who loves us. So there's no harm. It can only help. Somebody loves us when the two persons love together and enlighten together. They're very helpful, very nicely.
What do you think about the evolution theory? What is its problem?
Gosh, I'm not a scientist. You mean we come from the monkey and all that stuff? Huh? We all came from God, okay? We are created in the image of God. And that's all there is. And God made animals as well. He says so in the first chapter. Didn't he? First one, the Old Testament, page number 1. They say God created man and all the food, the herbs. Oh, by the way, he mentioned vegetarian there and then. Say, he say, I created all the fruit and the herbs in the field that are pleasant to the eyes and good for the taste. They shall be your food. And he also say, for all the animals, I also created food for each one of them. See? He doesn't say we evolved from animals. He say we are the rulers of the kingdom of animals. We are the king of them. So there's no mixy-mussy about evolution. We are human beings. Okay? Animals are also from God, but they're not human beings.
Vegetarianism in religion.
The Baha'i Faith. Regarding the eating of animal flesh and abstinence therefrom, know thou of a certainty that, in the beginning of creation, God determined the food of every living being, and to eat contrary to that determination is not approved. Selections from the Baha'i writings of some aspects of health and healing.
Buddhism. All meats eaten by living beings are of their own relatives. Lankavatara Sutra.
Also, after the birth of the baby, care must be exercised not to kill any animal in order to feed the mother with meaty delicacies, and not to assemble many relatives to drink liquor or to eat meat, because at the difficult time of birth, there are innumerable evil demons, monsters, and goblins who want to consume the smelly blood. By ignorantly and adversely resorting to the killing of animals for consumption, they bring down curses upon themselves, which are detrimental to both the mother and the baby. Ksitigarbha Sutra. Be careful during the days immediately after someone's death, not killing or destroying, or creating evil karma by worshipping or offering sacrifice to demons and deities, because such killing and slaughtering committed, or such worship performed, or such sacrifice offered, would not have even an iota of force to benefit the dead, but would entwine even more sinful karma into previous karma, making it even deeper and more serious. Thus, delay his rebirth to a good state. Karma means retribution. Ksitigarbha Sutra.
Gaudai. The most important thing is to stop killing, because animals also have souls and understand like humans. If we kill and eat them, then we owe them a blood debt. Teachings of the Saints.
Christianity, meats for the belly, and the belly for meats, but God shall destroy both it and them. Holy Bible.
And while the flesh was yet between their teeth, ere it was chewed, the wrath of the Lord was kindled against the people, and the Lord smote the people with a very great plague. Holy Bible.
Confucianism. All men have a mind which cannot bear to see the sufferings of others. The superior man, having seen the animals alive, cannot bear to see them die. Having heard their dying cries, he cannot bear to eat their flesh. Mencius. Essenes.
I am come to end the sacrifices and feasts of blood, and if ye cease not offering and eating of flesh and blood, the wrath of God shall not cease from you. Gospel of the Holy 12.
Hinduism. Since you cannot bring killed animals back to life, you are responsible for killing them. Therefore, you are going to hell. There is no way for your deliverance. Adalila.
He who desires to augment his own flesh by eating the flesh of other creatures lives in misery in whatever species he may take his birth. Mahabharata anew.
Islam. Allah will not give mercy to anyone except those who give mercy to other creatures. Hadith.
Do not allow your stomachs to become graveyards of animals. Hadith.
Jainism. A true monk should not accept such food and drink as has been specially prepared for him involving the slaughter of living beings. Sutrakatanga.
Judaism. And whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, that eateth any manner of blood, I will even set my face against that soul that eateth blood, and will cut him off from among his people. Holy Bible. Blood meaning flesh.
Sikhism. Those mortals who consume marijuana, flesh, and wine, no matter what pilgrimages, fasts, and rituals they follow, they will all go to hell. Guru Granth Sahib.
Taoism. Do not go into the mountain to catch birds and nets, nor to the water to poison fishes and minnows. Do not butcher the ox that plows your field. Tract of the Quiet Way.
Tibetan Buddhism. The offering to the deities of meat obtained by killing animate beings is like offering a mother the flesh of her own child, and this is a grievous failure, the supreme path of discipleship.
Zoroastrianism. Those plants I, Ahura Mazda, or God, rain down upon the earth to bring food to the faithful and fodder to the beneficent cow. Avesta.
To achieve the perfect enlightenment that can be achieved in one lifetime, is it possible to do this without going to the Himalayas like you did? Will it take us less than 7 years since you are such a perfect, compassionate master?
You don't have to go to Himalaya. I told you already. It's my karma. I have to go there. Your karma is better. You sit here and get enlightenment on the sofa. And it could take 7 years, could take 7 months, it depends on you. Depends on your destiny. That is, depends on your choice that you have made to yourself before this existence. That I cannot interfere. Only you know. You are pleased with yourself, the choice that you have made before you came here. So don't be hurried. Whatever it takes, that is your choice. You and God made the covenant already. That you take your 7 years, you take 17 years, you take 20 years, whatever. We live in eternity. No problem about how many years. But enlightenment occurs immediately at the time of initiation. It's just a complete enlightenment. It sometimes varies, depends on people and depends on your diligence or how hurry you want to go home. You have a car, you can drive fast, you can drive slow. Okay? Don't ask me 7 years or many years, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. At that time, after enlightenment, you get happy and happy every day. You don't bother about how many years. At that time, you don't even consider enlightenment anymore because you know God, you know happiness. You just fulfilled, content.
Can world evil or negative karma be transubstantiated into good or positive karma through people's use of violent flame and the golden light of Mahatma energy?
The negative energy is necessary for us to realize God. We have chosen to know darkness, so enable to recognize the light. So that's the way we can say we translate the negative into positive. Otherwise, negative is negative, positive is positive. There's no way you can say that darkness is light. But darkness is there to help the light to shine in darkness so that you know it. Well, I guess what he means is if you meditate and you see the light, can you neutralize the negative power? Of course, that's what it is. When the light comes, the darkness disappears. Whether it's violet flame or golden flame, depends on the level of consciousness. Violet flame is a little bit lower level. Golden flame is higher level. You know it later when you meditate.
Have you traveled beyond heaven and the light? If so, what is out there?
You want to taste my chocolate, and it's not possible. Because it's I who ate it, right? But I have another piece of chocolate, and you're welcome to try. I can tell you it's sweet and it's chunky, it's juicy, but then you just hear the words, you don't understand it. You have to eat it, okay? Eat the chocolate. Get the initiation, meditate, and then you know. There's nothing impossible, nothing at all impossible for us humans.
What is the most effective way to remove bad habits from one's life when they feel so much like chains around my feet and hands?
Yeah. It's difficult. But if we are enlightened, I told you, things will change. And change fast. Change very dramatically. That's how the saints are made. That's why it is said in your culture that all the saints have the past and all the sinners have a future. Believe in God. Accept the grace of God through diligent practice, through the light of guidance within yourself, through the God in you. Everything is possible. You can't even raise yourself from death to life. You can cure your own disease, let alone the habit. Terminal disease even. Everything is possible in the light of God. That's why I came to tell you the good news. Very good news.
What if you are adopted? Which family generations are saved? Biological or adoptive?
Biological, but adopted also okay. Because I told you, even your dog, your cat are benefited. You will see. I'm not kidding you. You will see your dog enlightened, cat enlightened. They will change. They will sit next to you. They will meditate with you. Yes. They will become a saintly cat. They even become vegetarian. Yes. Read our magazines. There are many true story in there. Everything you read in there is true story. And all the witnesses still alive. You meet the modern saints in those pages. Even cats and dogs. Yes. Very cute. Kuan Yin method. Even your friend, your lover who are not biologically related are benefited by you, by your practice, by your light. Because God's grace is very generous. We cannot imagine. It's incredible.
If you become initiated and follow, does that mean you can't kill or exterminate bugs, mice, etc. that invade your home? What about pulling weeds, etc.?
Oh God. Well. Well, in some of the cases, the termites moved out. If you keep your house clean and hygienic, yeah, you don't have to kill them. And pulling weeds you can. Just recite God's name and do whatever you have to do. Otherwise, in many cases, our initiate, they meditate, I don't know, all the pets gone away. The bugs and all that, they don't come near. It's very convenient. Economic. Everything leaves us.
What do you think of divorce?
Bad. Divorce is the last solution of a loving relationship. And it should not happen at all. But it's very difficult to work out with each other, since men and women are so different. Men are more cool, more straightforward, simple. Women are more sentimental, more romantic. So the warlike and the beauty, don't often mix well. But there are many ways to reconcile with each other. There are marriage counseling, there are books about it, and there are, of course, meditation. Yes, that will reconcile a lot of differences. You will see both of you will change, more loving, more understanding, and less demanding. That is if you're both in almost similar level. Otherwise, you still have conflict, but you still love each other. You will not resort to divorce as much as the other people who do not practice the inner peace. They would do it more. I would not divorce my husband if I was enlightened at that time. Yes, after enlightenment, you will learn to appreciate your partner more. A lot of families' conflict has been erased after initiation. If husband and wife meditate together, it really helps, because you realize you both got. Yeah, the love in you will spring forth, will magnify to cover all the differences between the man and the woman. You learn to love each other, respect each other as God even. Apart from the physical love, there is another holy love that will bind you to each other, make you more loving, more responsible, and more sensitive to each other's feeling and need.
What is the problem when one has a key to enlightenment but fails to make the shift into God consciousness?
Oh, in that case, well, maybe you try it again later. When your time comes, everyone has your own time, their own time. It's okay, no hurry. We have eternity.
Is it true that beyond the second level, there is no karma anymore? If we live in the world depending on our karma, then if we don't have karma anymore, do we still live in the world?
We don't have karma. It means after the third level, when you arrive at the karmaless level, you never commit any karma again. But the presently karma that is make you exist in this lifetime, it still continue until your time is up. And whenever your time is up, that means bad karma is gone. You don't have to stay here anymore, that means bad karma is gone. But when you reach the third level, the type of the person you are, the state of mind that you are in, will never let you commit any more bad karma. That's what it means. You will do everything in righteousness, automatically. But that doesn't mean that you die immediately, because the present karma still exists. The written karma for this lifetime, how many steps you have to take, how many breaths you have to inhale, how many food you have to take, how many days you have to live, that's already written. We don't erase that. We could if we want to, but why? Just a few more years to live or a few more days, why hurry? It's the last time anyhow.
Dear Master, I want to practice meditation and teach meditation, but also have an abundance of materialistic things. How can I do that? I don't wish to make a living doing anything other than teach meditation. Please advise.
Well, that's wonderful. Who is that? It's you, huh? Are you teaching by now? Yes. And you earn some living from that?
Yes,
okay.
But not enough.
Not enough?
No.
Then what to do? You have to expand your circle. See, you asked the wrong person. I don't take money.
How do you
teaching.
make a living?
I make a lot of living. I make a life out of a living. I design the clothes, I paint. What else did I do? Jewelry, yes. Yeah, I do a lot of things.
So do you advise I do other things other than teach meditation to make a living?
I would think, it's more noble if we teach the way of God free of charge at all times, because it's inherent in each of us. If we should not make a living out of that. But if you are in need of money, people donate to you, it's okay. Take it as God's gift. But I personally don't demand any money. I'm very afraid to take people money. I just don't feel good. Since I was young, yes. And any of the master, since ancient time, are not allowed to take money even. You are supposed to give, not to take. But I guess just an ordinary teacher of different meditation method, it's no harm, yeah? But to be a master, I think better not take anything. The Buddha take only 1 meal a day because he doesn't work. So that's the minimum he can take. But then, he has to do it. At that time, he don't have a mean to walk around, and earn money at the same time. Besides, he was a monk. And the tradition of the monk is you go begging for food. Yes, people respect you that way. So it's a modern time. If you go begging for food, the police will beg you to go to jail. So I cannot do that. Not that I'm materialistic. To desire to earn money, to live, is not a materialistic viewpoint. It's practical. We live in a modern time. We have to dress decently, presentably for the modern people, because they don't accept beggar looking anymore. You can't go on the street and begging, then people will take you for homeless, and they don't respect you, number one. How can you teach them, right? So you have to be decent, be like everyone else. I used to be a monk, but at that time I also earned money. I don't feel right taking money from people. I earn money by different things. I grow vegetable, I make knitting. At that time, because I was alone, I don't have too much traveling expenses, and at that time I eat 1 meal a day also. So I make very little money, enough. But now I'm expanded, and I have to travel a lot, so I have to earn more money. So I resort to different kind of techniques, like interdecoration stuff, like lamps, lights, sometimes ceramics, and painting, painting, design clothes and design jewelry. And these earns me a lot of money. worldwide. So I am able to travel around and live comfortably. So I pay every penny I take. Even if we initiate, lend me a car, I would pay petrol too. I don't take it. I don't want to. I feel I should pay my own living existence because I'm able. Yeah. So even my disciples, they give me anything, I don't take, unless I really don't know about it. If I know, I don't take it, or I give it back. I give back the money, the value, or return something else. Yes, I feel more comfortable that way. But it's all right. If people offer to you and you have no other means and you're too busy teaching to earn the living, then you take it. Okay? Take enough for yourself.
Can I ask you one more thing?
Oh, sure.
So you're able to run a business and have a spiritual teaching going on at the same time?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, you see?
Yeah.
That's what it is. And what it is right now. I'm doing my spiritual teaching, but in spare time I design clothes and jewelry, and that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and the people who help me sell and all that, I pay them money. The people who help to make clothes and all that, they also get the money. Yeah, sometimes we have a small restaurant here and there, and we also earn money from that, and I pay the money to the people who work in there. Everything strict business.
Thank you.
God bless.
If there is no physical body, then why did Jesus cry when his best friend John the Baptist was beheaded?
Well, should he laugh? Should a compassionate master, all loving, all godlike laugh, or be like a stone or indifferent to a best friend like John the Baptist? What do you expect his behavior to be? What do you expect an enlightened person to be? A stone? Just because he's enlightened, the chemical reaction in his body doesn't change. The tears still flow when it's triggered by emotion, and it should be so. He's become so softened, so feminine, so loving, and that's the best of all, It happened to him, it happened to us. It's very good when you cry, when your friend dies. That's very natural, he's very normal, very enlightened.
It seems that all my paths are being blocked. For this reason, I cannot reach my goals. My past experiences reveal that every time I'm one step towards my goal, something pulls me back and away. What should I do to clear my way?
What kind of path are you talking about? For the sake of the audience. Who is it? Yeah.
Thank you.
I want more clarification. What kind of path? You mean spiritual path or?
I didn't write the question, but for me it's applicable.
That's why I want to ask what he wants to know. What kind of path is all blocked?
I think myself, we constantly encounter obstacles in life and be very frustrating. And I think it's just a universal...
Okay, I got it. You mean in business and relationship?
Business, yeah.
Well, the only answer is enlightenment. I have no other answer. Yeah? Enlightenment will guide you, will give you the answer, give you the strength to start all over again or to overcome difficulties, as well as ignore the unnecessary worries about different problems. You will solve them quicker. So enlightenment is the only way. There's no other thing for us in life to do except to get enlightenment first, and everything else will follow. That's why the Bible says to you, seek you first the kingdom of God. That means get enlightenment, and all the things shall be added unto you. Yes, truly. I earn more money now than when I was not enlightened. Yes. When necessary, God will show you the way. Okay? Even in a physical way. Yeah? I didn't get enlightenment to earn money, but it just happened. Just happened that everything else become very smooth. Yeah, unasked. And that's true.
How do I live an enlightened life?
You live like you lived before. Huh? Live with your wife, your kids, or your husband. Continue. Discharge your duties, enjoy your life, meanwhile enjoy heaven. There's nothing changed. Nothing changed except the insight, the knowledge, the happiness.
Do animals and plants have their God?
We have only one God, same. One Father for everyone. Jesus says so. Say, look at the lily of the valley. How does the Father take care of them? See? So it must be same God. You read the Bible, but you ask me so many questions. Everything in the Bible already, no?
What are the reasons why you don't believe in healing other people?
Oh, the reason why I don't believe? Because they should learn to heal themselves. We should not play God. That's the reason. We stand between God and that patient. Each one of them have the power to heal themselves. And God has bestowed upon them sickness as a blessing in disguise, so that he may seek God. So until the point when the person is very sincere, God will appear to them. Otherwise we have a lot of physical medical treatment that should be taking care of the physical things. And to tamper with people's psychic body and the healing power within themselves is not very advisable. Because the bad karma is not erased by just a touch of hand. It will come back again tenfold later, and the person will suffering more and never know God. If you just believe in the healers and forget God, and especially the God inside you, you're in more trouble than the sickness. That's what I believe, and that's what I know, and that's what I share with you. But of course, it's my opinion, and my knowledge is not necessarily yours. It's not necessarily accepted by you. Just if you come to me and ask me, I have to tell you what I know, right? But I don't against healing or anything like that. But if you want to go higher, then you have to stop that. Just like you want to learn to become a doctor, you have to continue with being a doctor. You cannot just stop midway and become a nurse and then expect to be a doctor at the same time. It's not possible. Okay?
Master, why is it necessary to be guided through meditation?
There's no other way, no? Meditation is just a name. Actually, it's an inner reconnection with the God power. Just like, why is it necessary to eat 3 meals a day in order to sustain your body? This is to sustain your spirit. We have to meditate. We have to get recharged by God power again in order to be free from the shackle of the physical world, in order to be God again, in order to be master of ourselves.
Master, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your all attentiveness and your support and your enlightened atmosphere and your loving smile, everything. It pleases me very much. For those who do not take initiation tonight or consider later, go home and pray, huh? Pray to God. Don't forget. Pray all the time. Pray anytime you can. Pray with all your heart until the day you get enlightenment.